You will be next. This is how I escaped. When you visit social media websites, you're always leaving little bits of information about yourself behind. Over time, the information adds up, and if someone were to really pay attention and keep track, it would be extremely easy for them to trace it back to you. Almost like a little trail of breadcrumbs leading directly to you. That's how they got me. Personally, I am a very open guy on the internet and often gave out little information, possibly without even knowing. For years, I chatted online with Instagram cuties and Twitter fanatics, giving little bits of myself out. I regularly, nonchalantly gave out my name and age, not thinking of the consequences. That was until this whole ordeal occurred. They stormed into my house 2 months ago, slamming a sack over my head, beating me, knocking me out cold in the process. I later awoke on a small plane, and as I wiggled out the sack, it was revealed that I was in a cargo area. The plane engine roared loudly, but I still made an effort not to make any unnecessary noises, in fear of bringing it to the attention of my kidnappers. At this point, I didn't know where I was, or how I even got here. The cargo was small, so with my claustrophobia, I quickly panicked, resulting in me knocking over a stack of boxes in the corner. The top box knocked over and the papers inside fell out. I constantly made my way over towards the boxes. I picked up the first paper until I was screenshots. Screenshots. My conversations, my Twitter posts and profile, and almost all of my social media information. I dropped the paper, staggering back, dropped the papers. Had they captured me based on this? I walked back towards the fallen papers and picked them up, and one revealed to be my work schedule. They knew when I was home, and they knew when I slept. I rummaged through some more and found pictures. Pictures of me sleeping, walking, checking my mail, and even some eating. These people had been following me for months in advance. I freaked out. I frantically began to bang on the door. I screamed and banged and made so much noise I didn't even care if they heard me. Of course, my noise did not go unheard as two bald men stormed in, dragging me out. I didn't resist. Anything was better than that room. Everything suddenly got very slow as I saw the feet of a man holding a baseball bat. I was hit and knocked out once again. I awoke as I was being dragged into the woods, once again in a sack. The men were talking, but I couldn't hear from the dragging sound. They dragged me for what felt like miles until they finally brought me upon the concrete. Then a long, scratchy sound. It almost sounded like a sewer top being dragged off. I was dumped out of the bag onto the concrete, and I saw my assumption was right. Sure enough, a sewer top was laying on top of the concrete. I was kicked in the gut multiple times and eventually forced into the sewer. I landed in waters, splashing and dropping the only thing I had on me at the time, my pocket flashlight. A man peered over the hole. "Welcome to Paris, my friend. Enjoy the catacombs." The man began laughing uncontrollably until they finally forced the cover back on. I was stuck, and for the first time in a while, I cried. I sat in those catacombs, letting my feelings out, knowing this was the end. The catacombs are ancient burial grounds, some of the most deadliest places on earth. I was in there, alone, with my flashlight gone. I cried for hours until I finally made the decision to move on without my flashlight. Who needs it, right? Wrong. I got lost to a point where I couldn't find the way back to my original drop spot and had no light to help me. I cried as I walked, cursing my kidnappers, hating myself. I was alone, all alone. Or so I thought.